What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? I think you're muted. Muty McMuterton. Yeah, audio?
Hey.
There we go. There's Mr. Aslan.
I had to get to the right spot.
Great shot of your nose, bro.
Yeah, it was all that.
All the way up the nose.
Okay, man, the beard is looking good.
Don't patronize me.
Hey, dude, no. The first couple of days, I thought, oh, no, what's happening here?
Yeah, I'm in the shadows here. I don't know how well you can see it.
Yeah, but it's coming in much thicker.
Well,
I ain't joking.
16 days worth.
I tried for like 2 weeks until they're like, hey, you got to make like 4 minute to win it videos. I was like, oh, man, I shaved it.
4 minute to win it videos. Tim, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm in now.
Okay, he's a strong silent type. Got it. Okay, just checking. Right. How you doing, man? Good to finally meet you.
Good. Yeah, you too.
How's Nebraska?
Wait, what?
What? Can you see Tim?
Yeah, but you guys have been training together or something.
I've never seen him. I always wanted him to stay like the Emperor Palpatine, just
Just a distant figure in the shadows.
Yeah, just controlling them.
Crazy.
Anyway, so first of all, thank you guys for jumping on. I'm recording this so we can use this for the podcast. I wanted to kind of do something short, 30 minutes, just basically like how to get stronger and how to get faster in the quarantine. You know what I mean? And I know we're all passionate about fitness in different ways. But Tim, you've been a huge help for my life. I all but gave up on ever breaking a 6-minute mile, and then the Jedi Master arose from the darkness.
Nice.
Came
very good.
Came through.
That's my favorite stuff, man.
Yeah, so you got me down to sub 6 mile. I thought it was never going to happen. You know what I mean?
And it was, I knew it was there. You just got to do it.
There. I know. Yeah, I was like, it's over. Put me in the old folks' home. I'm done.
Ooh.
Little
support in the right direction, and
yeah.
Okay.
So let's talk about our quarantine life. So I know you're obviously passionate about running. Aslan, you're passionate about running on mountains, like a mountain goat. And if you haven't met Aslan, he's a good DJ friend of mine from a long time past. We've connected on many levels over the years, but he's now a kids pastor in Southern Cal, and still DJ here and there. Is that like?
Yeah, here and there is a great way to say it. I'll never put it away,
right.
But yeah, here and there is fine. Yeah.
So you've DJ'd for on the 116 tour, Andy Mineo, the who's who of XYZ. So
right.
But we're all stuck in home. We're all stuck in our various places, and I thought first of all, it'd be cool to like talk about how are we managing fitness and health in this time. So anyone want to jump in? Go for it.
Go for it, Tim.
I think our rules might be a little bit more lax compared to where you guys are at too. Southern California and Florida, right smack dab in the middle of the country. In Omaha, we are relatively. Our cases are nowhere near what the coasts are like. So we have potentially a little bit more freedom than the coasts do, but. For the most part, apart from gyms being shut down, I think that's the big thing. People can't go to the gym. So, like for me, running is the majority of what I do. So outside is free more or less, even when the gyms are open. That's right. No one's stopping us from going out the door. So we have nothing's really changed there, I suppose. But for those, like one of my best friends is he works at Lifetime Fitness, and that gym, he's one of the head trainers there, and their gym shut down. So he's converted his home into a home gym for some of their clients that are still wanting to get after it and have the coaching attention with, I suppose, the correct attention to detail for them to continue to grow. So there are things like that going on where people around here are converting or adapting, I suppose, to the opportunities that we have at our fingertips. Like his garage now is like got a full squat rack in it. I mean, anything you could really think of, they've got at their fingertips at their house. So they'll either do digital stuff where they can coach online like this if the clients have stuff at their houses, and so they'll program for them and help give them tips on their form and what they need to do in order to continue to grow while we're kind of sitting sedentary. Or, you know, if people, I've never seen more people outside running and moving in my life than since this started at the beginning of I suppose the beginning of the year, really, but really in the last month. But it's been kind of crazy.
Is that more work for you being a running coach now?
I'd love to say yes, but I think people are maybe more cautious or conservative with their dollars because of you know, work potentially being shut down, or people uncertain, I suppose, of what the next month is going to look like. So a lot of it's just kind of being there for people. If, you know, this isn't my full-time thing. This is really a passion pursuit for me. So if I really would love to grow it into a more functioning business, and we have a few paying clients, but nothing that's going to allow me to do it full-time yet. But it gives us the opportunity to reach out kind of more freely to those people that we think may do it. Like my birthday is on the 18th, so we just started I turned 32, so we're running 3.2 for my 32nd digitally.
Right.
So if you want, you can join the program online and just get people moving, and then they're aware of what's going on. But it's definitely just to help keep people moving.
So that's probably people's first choice now, because I mean, that's one of the last few things you can do is you can still go and do recreation. So for some people, that's just taking a walk. For some people, are like, well, it's time to start running.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of novice people thinking, you know, who haven't trained, have not run, all of a sudden are just like, sure, why not? I can run a 5K, and they're probably dying very quickly, metaphorically. So just a couple of little bits of advice, you know, if someone is, because of this quarantine, all of a sudden, you know, the gym is shut down, they are deciding to take up running, where would you say would be the place for them to start?
Man, slow and steady is always the best advice. I think feel it out for sure. Your body's going to tell you if it's too much, too fast. And I think even like, I'm trying to think of the guy's name, but there's free programs built on walk run programs. So walk for 5 minutes and run for 2, and walk for 5 and run for 2, especially if you're, you know, coming out of the woodwork brand new, or you used to run 15 years ago and now we have the opportunity to go outside and do it again.
Right.
Slow and steady always wins.
Any apps you would recommend that you are like, this is the best one to get?
Yeah, I utilize the Nike training one, honestly, quite a bit. Take Nike for what it is, I suppose. But there's a lot of sound advice amongst all of the marketing there. Their head coach, Coach Bennett, is phenomenal. So there's definitely a lot of good resource hidden underneath all of the Nike swoosh. So.
Sure. Wow. Yeah, they're definitely going to try and sell you something. I've been using the free Run Keeper for years. They keep trying to make me a big one. I'm like, nope.
Yep. Yeah. That's a good one too. I mean, you really can't go wrong with a lot of the big ones. Like even Strava's a big one. Run Keeper. I don't know if that's the Under Armour one. Under Armour owns a running app too, but there's a lot of good resources out there like that. You really can't go wrong.
So I have a question for you, which I think this is very selfish, but I'm going to do it anyway. You were able to get me to a place where I hadn't been able to get to for years. Now, I ran like the half mile in high school, and I ran the quarter mile. I was never like great at it. I was like good enough to be on the team, never really placed once, but down in Florida, everyone's fast. So point being is, you know, it wasn't until my late 30s when I started running longer. And, you know, the fastest I ever ran was like a 5:30 mile. I was like super proud of myself. And my 20-something 5K, which anything I say, I know there's somebody out there faster and there's someone else infinitely slower. But I felt like once I crossed the threshold of my 40s, that there was no way I was ever going to get back to any of these times, right? So my goal was just to get back to a sub 6 mile. I spent a whole year with no particular attack mode on my running, and just gave up. I was like, I guess I'm just not going to happen. You know, someone told me, oh, your VO2 goes down when you get older. You can't take in as much oxygen and stuff. And you were like, nope. And I was like, yeah, I know more than you. And you're like, no, you don't. And you gave me a plan that really did it, that I didn't realize that was the plan that works, because so you had me overrunning, correct? And then you had me underrunning. That was the basic plan. How you got you had me overrunning my mile and then underrunning my mile. Is that right?
Essentially, you want to get the body used to running further, not necessarily faster, but so that you can build a capacity there. And then, I suppose the easiest way to put it is you want to run slower to run faster. So you run longer and slower, and then you do focused shorter intervals at a faster pace than what we're trying to run. And you put those two together, and then you for a specific distance or time, and you get a little bit creative, because at different ages or different ability levels, there's always opportunity to grow. And a lot of times people don't see the potential that is at their fingertips, because it's just like, well, running is really hard, it hurts all the time. Or mentally, it's been 10 years, like I ran in college, and I know mentally how fast I was then, and I'm not that fast now, because most of us have work and family and other responsibilities that we have to do. And so incorporating all those things that we really enjoy, like running or achieving these goals, becomes a little bit more difficult. So we just got to get creative about how we do those things with the abilities that we have. And so, ultimately, we want to run a little bit longer, build up endurance, and then we want to push it a little bit harder over shorter distances. And then when we're able to marry those two for a specific workout or a specific event or race, then we can pair it up. And
and I remember the gist that I would remember is that I would essentially, you started off me doing about 2 miles, approximately 3 miles at a very low pace, and I was used to running that pace way faster. I'm like, why am I running so freaking slow, right? And then you'd be like, the next week you go, okay, now you're gonna go 3.5 miles, and by the third week you're like 4 miles, and then I never ran 4 miles ever. Then you're like, oh, now we're gonna do 5 miles. I'm like, I'm not gonna make it, you know what I mean? And the irony was, I never got injured, I never got hurt, my plantar fascia never came back. There was stuff that stretched me, but point being is, I noticed I was going farther and farther at what you said, a slower pace. And then you'd be like, okay, on these days, you're going to run 6 quarter miles at this pace. Like, you're going to run twice as fast. And true to form, within 2 months, I went from a 6:30 mile to a 5:55 mile. And I thought that was like crazy. So
you had it all there. You had it all there. 6:30 mile with relatively no focused training, specifically, for that. It was all there. You just gotta put the puzzle pieces together and knock it out.
All right, so Mr. Aslan, I saw you getting very creative in your garage with your quarantine workouts.
Yeah. I know, huh?
You lifting water jugs? What was going on there?
Oh, man. One time I have a longboard skateboard. I have a bunch of skateboards, but I do have a longboard, and I put some weights on each end of the wheels and the trucks. But then the other day I just picked up a rail to skate. So for anyone, skateboarding world, a flat rail, which is fun to grind and do board slides on. And that kind of turned into a barbell, because I have no weights. I have a set of 10 dumbbells and a set of 5 dumbbells. I am super restricted. And that's what came to mind, right away when everything was very quickly by the, hour being shut down.
You were the first one to deal with it, being in Cali.
Yeah.
I guess, Governor Gavin Newsom, he called pretty strict. San Francisco's like, hey, you guys are going on a major lockdown. And then it just was in a matter of days, I think, short amount of days, 1 or 2, where it was like, oh man, we're going on for a real one. But yeah, restaurants and gyms were closed very quickly. But I remember, I forget the date exactly, but I made the choice when the gyms were still open. I have a membership to a Gold's, and when the gyms were still open, I was like, I'm just going to hold back. I'm not going to go. So for about 5 or 6 days, the gyms were still open, and I chose not to go, and it was just a matter of time after that, you know, until they were actually closed.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, the first things that hit were, I don't want to spend money on gym stuff, but I love working out, and the thing, you know, the determination hit right away. Like, we're going to be on lockdown. I don't want to lose much. You know, I'm not worried about gains and all this kind of stuff. You know, I'm not worried about that. But man, I just want to stay in shape throughout whatever is coming, you know? So
Right.
the determination hit hard, like, dude. I mean, the determination has already been there from hanging with KJ for, it's been about 3 years, KJ, since we just kind of linked up and, well, we've been hanging out for a while, but about 3 years ago, KJ put me on some great advice and great lifestyle changes. And so I lost 30 pounds within about 3 or 4 months.
Man.
Yeah. And
Well,
I'm
I
a
just
little
told him
guy.
to eat a tapeworm. Basically, I wasn't that great.
I know, that's crazy. Like, drink it through the bottle, man. That way, that's from a movie or something. Poltergeist or something. So anyways, so yeah, but KJ did really help me just make major lifestyle changes. And ever since then, it's just been, how far can I take this, kind of, basically within means without getting hurt. I'm 41 now. I was 41 a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, real smart about, you know, trying to be smart about that. Can't be stupid about that and just get hurt and then watch it all go away.
It's good
so
stuff.
yeah, with the quarantine thing, I was like, man, I'm going to do anything and everything. And it's been 3 years in the making, though, of like, okay, well, I know what to do anyways. You know, I'm not just the guy that goes straight to the gym and goes to the bench press and, you know, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, especially traveling sometimes, like KJ's lifestyle was very much and still part of, well, obviously you're not traveling right now. But you got to get creative in all kind of situations. And so, yeah, just made that, you know, just hit the switch on the quarantine. Like, okay, I'm going to stay busy with stuff. But then there's been the hurdles in the way when they started roping off all the playgrounds.
That's right.
They rope the playgrounds out here, which is, you know, they have some caution tape. It's not like it's huge, but, you know, you just want to fall in line and be like, okay, I won't hit the playgrounds. But I was going to the playground, just some calisthenics areas with some bands and making sure I got some, the quickest thing I'm going to lose is pull-ups, and I don't want to lose pull-ups. And, but then they roped that off. So then I'm hanging from my beams, hanging from the rafters in my garage, getting up there on the ladder, just to get some pull. I haven't built anything yet, you know, because back to the finances and stuff. So it's been hurdle after hurdle to try to, like, okay, how do I keep this moving? And that's basically what it is basically keep moving, physically keep moving.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally hear you. I have been, I found that routine has helped me tremendously mentally, but today, it's funny. Today was the first day I did not get up and run or work out. And my whole day was just thrown off. I could just tell it was just something about different. My new routine has been get up as early as possible. I've been actually saving my running because I know later on I'm gonna have to freaking get these kids out of the house because they're driving me insane. So I've been saving my running because I just chase my kids around on their bike, which they're infinitely faster. So my pace level has been like, but as you can tell, I'm like super burnt from being outside in Florida all the time.
Oh.
But I, like you doing the calisthenics, I actually took my TRX and strapped it to my car.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So that's actually been pretty dope. I found my old weight vest. I've been using that for extra weight, but I've actually been incorporating my kids, mostly my 4-year-old, into my workout by just literally chucking him in the air like a medicine ball. And then I found a new core workout where I hold a plank and he just beats the crap out of me. So just barely holding on to the plank while he's like yanking my legs and stuff has been like super challenging. Putting him on my back, doing push-ups with him on my back. Even today, don't tell his mom, but I held him upside down his legs and I called them chicken nugget dunks. And I was going like this and I was like, oh my gosh, it feels just like a regular, 40 pounds. So like it allows me to keep him, because he's not in school because he's only 4, keep him engaged. I'm still using a Tabata timer for my workouts, but like it's no joke. Like I'm like legitimately tired after using this kid as like a human medicine ball. My wife went out because she can't go to the gym, obviously, and she bought those sliders that we can use on the floor. I don't know if you ever done those with push-ups. You ever try those?
Oh yeah.
Those are awesome. And then we have one fitness park on the side of the road. It's not even a fitness park. They're like little fitness stations on the side of the road. For some reason, the only one that didn't get closed. Everything else closed. Even like my last ray of hope was our preserves, because we have miles of preserves that I could go run through, and they just closed them this week. So I'm like,
whoa,
man,
there's nowhere left to run except in my neighborhood. And, I'm getting sick of that. But now I'm like, I don't have a choice. I want to go out and get a stand-up paddleboard, like, because I'm on a canal, so I can like get around.
Yeah.
About the gators.
Everyone says that, and I'm like, I've lived here 15 years. I've never seen a gator in my canal once. I've seen monitor lizards, I've seen otters, I've seen every other possible human animal, but there's no gators, and the water's like super. That's such an out of town thing to think that there's gators. There's just not one where I live. So shoot, I'll get in there. Let's do this. You know what I
mean? I've done the stand-up paddleboard, man. I've been out there for hours. And it's not incredible, but it's fun to do, but it's not an incredible workout, man. You're going to get your balance, and you're kind of tightening the whole time.
Yeah, I want to do it really
fun,
my 12-year-old is now like super excited to go kayaking. So I'm like, I can't just turn him loose in all these canals because he will take off. So I'm trying to figure out how I can chase him down.
Heck yeah. That's a great way.
But anyway, let's talk about diet real quick, and then I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Cool. Have you found yourself, I keep seeing all these memes. They're like, pre-quarantine Barbie and like after quarantine Barbie. She's like gigantic and massive. I haven't really found myself snacking like that. Like, I don't see any particular difference. If anything, I feel like I actually have more energy. I'm certainly more disciplined in my sleep time. Like, if anything, I'm all these extra things must have been totally wearing me down. Have you guys been handling diet? If anything, I find I'm eating more carbs because I'm running all the time. But other than that, I think I've lost 2 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gaining any weight.
Go ahead, Tim.
I don't think ours has changed too much. We've been a little bit more conscious about what our, I suppose what we're bringing in the house, because we never know if they're going to be like, guess what? You guys can't leave your house. So we've been pretty intentional about what we get at the grocery store and how we're using that over a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever that is. So we don't ever buy a ton of I eat way too, like my father-in-law just dropped off a bunch of ice cream. So for whatever reason, I'm killing the ice cream. But apart from that bad snacking, I suppose I'm not doing it too much out of the ordinary. I suppose the diet's maintained pretty regular, not a lot of extra snacking food, but just I suppose we're a little bit more focused on what we have coming in the house, just because we don't know what's going to happen. So.
Yeah, same here. Aslan.
My big thing is probably portion control. We're definitely, still able to hit up the Trader Joe's and the grocery stores. At first it was kind of scarce, but my wife just told me yesterday or 2 days ago, maybe at the most, Trader Joe's is feeling really normal for what they're actually stocking.
Yeah.
And so my biggest thing right now is portion. When I was lifting weights, 5 days a week, man, Monday through Friday for sure. And then doing something always on Saturday, whether it's skating, skateboarding again, or a run on Saturday. And so, it's definitely a pullback of the weights. And so I right away went to, I'm not going to worry about the whey protein. I'm not going to buy the whey protein. That's all I was taking per supplement was whey protein. I was like, man, I'm not, because of financial, I guess there's like lenses I was looking through, the one lens was financial, was like, dude, we'll get some chicken, but dude, I may eat some more carbs than I normally do just because my wife's a vegetarian as well. So there's not a bunch of meat protein and poultry and, fish. We're not doing like much of that, even though we will get some chicken and stuff. Yeah. So I'm like, man, I'm just going to see what happens. It's kind of a little bit of an experiment with pulling back on some of the normal protein intake and just really going to go portion control. And that's how I'm going to be able to do it. And the same way I've probably lost maybe about a pound.
Yeah.
But I mean, I kind of feel hungry and I'm in the house almost the whole day. And so I definitely feel like, oh man, I want to grab some more handful of mixed nuts or something like that, stuff that's going to really add up. And so I got to I'd rather not put all that good fat on, even though it tastes good and everything. But I got to watch it for sure.
Awesome. So I'm gonna wrap it up with 3 things that have been rocking my world. If you have anything else you want to share, certainly, 3 things that like I don't know if you call them body hacks or whatever, but 3 things that I don't even, and I also understand placebo effects and things like that. But I have been doing cold showers in the morning. I don't jump in cold. I, turn it down cold. And the only reason I heard about this, I follow Joe DeCina. He's the Spartan guy. And I guess they're saying that cold showers they activate fat loss, but I guess from what he said, it actually jogs the immune system because it's such a shock to the immune system that it forces the body to okay, I guess we're going to do this. There's something about like me coming in just totally sweaty, disgusting in that cold shower, not like iceberg cold, but cold, has completely it supercharges my morning. You know what I mean? I've actually been sleeping on the floor every couple nights. And the reason behind that, partially was my sinuses, not my sinus, but like the way my nose works. I broke my nose. But I've actually found it I actually wake up with less back pain. Not that I had back pain to begin with, but something about that has I was thinking, well, our ancestors have probably slept on floors for thousands of years. We just started sleeping on beds. That has been a huge hack for my body. And then I don't even know if this is a hack, but I've just been killing the pour over coffee. Something about that has been rocking my world too. So that's 3 for me. You guys got one? You can throw it out too, and then we'll call it a day.
Go ahead.
I mean, I feel like the one thing I always fight with is just consistency too. It sounds so simple, but even when you don't want to do it, get out and do it. And I know even when I got a bad attitude and I don't want to go, I just want to sit down and crush the ice cream that was dropped off at my house, and I still go out for 10, 20, 30 minutes, whatever it is. Yeah. I'm always grateful that I went and did it. My attitude is 100% different than before that. So, I mean, I know that seems so simple and sounds so simple, and I do think it is just really simple, but that's the one thing. Just if it's on the schedule, go do it.
Nice. I'll probably reiterate a little bit. I'm definitely dittoing the pour over coffees. 3 or 4 cups a day easily, if not more. 5 cups a day.
I find it interesting because I always people go, "You're the Mountain Dew guy," you know what I mean? And people think I'd still suck down Mountain Dews 20 years later. I'm like, absolutely not. But I've had people literally come to me confessionally, dude, I can't quit. I got to cut out caffeine. I'm like, no, you don't.
Switch coffee.
This misconception of you can't have caffeine is it's just drink it black, man. Like a man.
Yep, 100%.
Drink it black. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. You gotta drink it black. You gotta be careful. Don't put much in it at all. And I'm just kind of reiterating all you guys, the consistency. I mean, right after this, my wife and I are gonna go do some kind of video in the garage. We're gonna make sure, I don't know, we do about 45 minutes of something. Don't let KJ hear this, but we'll be probably doing some insanity videos. And I still have those.
I thought about busting them out. Don't worry. He used to do so much insanity that he was like, I can't figure out why I can't gain any mass. I'm like, and he didn't tell me he was doing insanity, then running 2 miles. I'm like,
oh my God,
emaciated, dude. I was like, you gotta
bones.
I was like, you probably just want to just work out with some weights. He's like, oh, I should do that too. I'm like, no, not with it. I did the same.
That stuff works though too, man.
I did the same thing. So anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
But the consistency, stay at it, and just, it's going to be a mental game. I think it's just a major mental game through this time in all areas of your life, working with your family, trying to wrap your head around this nonsense is just it's super mental, man. Just stay with it. Get some good people in some conversations with you.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you guys. I will post up all your information on this podcast so they can check you out at your site. And, if they want you to come DJ their quinceañera, they can hit you up after this is over.
Oh, shoot.
All right. Appreciate you guys, man. Y'all have a great quarantine day.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Later.